The Court of Public Opinion is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. All right, we're back, and what in the world is going on in Globe, Arizona? We got Doc, who's going to tell us the whole story. Doc, you got the whole floor for the next 10 minutes. Tell them what's going on in Globe, Arizona.
Well, it's a big, big day, Jenny. It's July 4th of 2020 in Globe City, Arizona. And today what I intend to do is to march up and down the sidewalk in front of that mural of George Floyd, huge mural that was posted there on the side of a building, and have a, let's say, the other side. I'm going to carry a sign that says, if you want to ruin a good story, here's the other side. Here it is. And I will be referring to a book by Colin Flaherty, written probably 10 years ago, called White Girl Bleed a Lot, and where he documents over 500 attacks at that time by mobs upon unsuspecting, weak, vulnerable people, pregnant women, old people, crippled people, and viciously beaten, sometimes murdered by mostly teens who filmed what they did and then put it on YouTube. But after a while, YouTube refused to post it. The attacks were so vicious and so violent. So it's hard to find them now. But this has been going on for about at least 30 years. And the media, the mass media, the mass TV media, has ignored this. They call this the knockout game. Yeah, the knockout game, or elevator hunting, where they go out and they find somebody walking alone along the sidewalk, and one of them will come up maybe with gloves on and maybe something in his hand, enhance the viciousness of the punch, and just sucker punch that person in the face. And of course they'll fall down on the concrete and bang their head off the concrete and get a concussion. And then the rest of the group joins in, stomping and kicking the person into oblivion, while all this is being filmed with their camera, I guess, or their smartphone, by another member of the group. And they gleefully put this on YouTube. And they had done that for years, until even YouTube got sick of seeing these vicious attacks. And they were so stupid that they filmed themselves, and police were able to track down a few of them that committed these crimes, and their interviews are on YouTube. But since they were under 18, there really wasn't a whole lot they could do to them. If they were over 18, they would probably be doing 20 to life for murder. But this is a story that has not been told. It's the other side of the story. George Floyd, it's sad what happened to him, but the guy was, as I understand, a 6-time felon. He had stuck a gun in the stomach of a pregnant woman, black woman, while his buddies robbed their apartment. So the man was anything but a saint, but he's being put out as some kind of role model for the movement, Black Lives Matter, whatever. And I think it's time for a little balance. It's time for the other side of the story to be told. And what better day to do that than July 4th, the birthday of our country. So I'm going to be marching there. I'm going to be alone. I don't know if anybody will join me. I don't know if I'll get attacked, assaulted. I don't know if I'll get any support from the local police, or whether they'll give me a hassle. I do not know, because up to now, the experience in other cities is the police and the mayors have basically turned their back on anybody pushing back on this and caved into it. So I'm hoping that will not happen today in our little city of Globe, Arizona. But in a few hours, we're going to find out what the story is. But it's a story that needs to be told, because there is always another side to a story. We have a system of courts. That deputy that did that to George Floyd, I'm sure, is going to be put on trial. All of the facts will be laid out. And he deserves proper due process, his day in court with his lawyer, to present the complete picture, put everything in context, and And then the protests should start, in my opinion, not before. We should not be trying people on the street or in the media. And all too often, that is what's happening, and it's creating all kind of problems. Well, you know what happened up in Seattle with the Chaz or Chop. I think 2 people were killed. A 19-year-old boy was killed up there. So people have died and have been injured and been hurt because there are people who are jumping to conclusions and trying people in the streets. And apparently that has come to our city, our little town of Globe, Arizona, by way of this mural and a banner talking about Black Lives Matter. So I think there has to be a little bit of balance here, a little bit of pushback.
Yeah,
Today,
I have a question. Anybody else say anything about this mural? Like, I mean, it's not really a Globe, Arizona issue. That's what doesn't make sense.
Exactly. This happened in Minnesota, many, many miles away. And the question is, why is this being posted in Globe? And it's huge. I mean, it's really big. And Black Lives Matters banners being flown from the overpasses. I mean, is this the beginning of an effort to cause the kind of problems that have occurred in Seattle, in New York, in other towns, in Globe, Arizona now? And I think the city fathers, the mayor, the city manager, and even the governor should be concerned and address this. But what I have found is they do not return my phone calls or many of my friends' phone calls when you call their offices and want to discuss the issue. They seem to be wanting to run and hide away from it. This has been typical throughout the United States, that the mayors and the governors of some of these states have just knuckled under to this, whatever it is that's going on. I'm not sure who's really behind BLM, what the real agenda is here, but apparently there is a real effort, well financed, to spread this kind of controversy over parts of the United States like Globe, Arizona, that as far as I know has no significant race issue. I mean, there's always some prejudiced people in every town, but I don't know of any real big racial issue in this town, especially regarding blacks. So, you know, it's news to me, so I'm not sure why somebody would make all this effort and go through all this expense.
Yeah, Globe, Arizona is not known for racial anything. Really,
exactly. It's just a quiet little western town. It's almost paradoxical that this kind of thing would be unfolding in a little western town like Globe, which is typically where you go to have a quiet life, you know, and do your job, or retire, or whatever. I'm pushing 80 years of age, so you know, this is not something I really want to do. In my latter years, I want to relax, but you know, I and some others, I would say, are just getting more and more fed up with the way our mayors, governors, city managers are knuckling under to this and trying to avoid. And they're not doing their job, is what it amounts to. And I'm hoping the police in our town will do their job.
We got one more second. I just want to thank you, George, for joining us in this broadcast. We may do a part 2, so to follow up on your story later on. Thank you again.
Very good, Jenny, and it's been a pleasure.